See to it that no one takes you captive through hollow and deceptive philosophy, which depends on human tradition and the basic principles of this world, rather than on Christ. See to it that nobody deceives you. See to it that you're not led astray by the world. See to it that you're not held captive by the lies of this world, held captive by politics, held captive by somebody telling you that 2 + 2 = 7, when the reality is 2 + 2 = 4. It says, let no one take you captive with hollow and deceptive philosophy. You know, the last several years, part of the reason why I started this channel is because I was tired of the lies of man. I was tired of people telling me something different than what my eyes and ears were hearing and seeing. I was sick and tired of the lies that was going on. And I was thinking critically, and I was utilizing the Spirit, and I was utilizing what God gave me. And I saw through their madness, and I saw through their lies. And I wanted to create a channel to talk about God's truth. Man's going to always say what they want to say. And there's some things that man says are truthful, and there's a lot of things that man says is full of you know what. But one thing in my life is that I've always held myself to a high standard so that I am not held captive by hollow and deceptive philosophy, which depends on human tradition and the basic principles of this world rather than on Christ. And you should neither. You got to be above that. You got to be better than that. You should be focusing on God every single morning, every single day, throughout the day. Not depending on human tradition, not depending on the basic principles of this world, but depending on Christ, who created the whole universe, who's with God at the right-hand side right now, interceding for you. How much more is there anything more powerful than that? There's nothing more powerful than that. And when you have that, when you have that rock, when you have that solid rock that your truth is laid on, you will not be led astray. Your mind will not be held captive. When people try and tell you that 2 + 2 = 30, you're going to say, no. 2 + 2 is 4. And that's okay. They can take you. They can do whatever they want to you. They can mock you. They can say this. They can say that. But stand your ground. Stand your ground in the truth. Because you have the truth. And all they have is ad hominem attacks. You have the truth. And all they have is nonsense. Trust in God. Don't trust in this world. Don't trust in man. Don't trust in your job. Don't trust in your boss. Don't trust in our leaders who are coming to nothing. Trust in God. Do not be held captive by hollow and deceptive philosophy. I'm going to say it again. See to it that no one takes you captive through hollow and deceptive philosophy, which depends on human tradition and the basic principles of this world rather than on Christ. That's a powerful scripture, Colossians 2 verse 8. When Paul was writing to the Colossian church, there was a lot of people that were trying to deceive them, that were utilizing the basic principles of this world and trying to get captive in their mind. And there's a war going on for your mind. There's a war going on for your soul. And there's people out there, there's demonic entities that want to take you captive through lies, through hollow and deceptive philosophy. And they want to tell you that what they're saying is the truth, but what they're saying is not the truth. It's the opposite. It's lies. You got to be bigger and you got to be better. You got to be intuitive. You got to be able to see through that. You got to have a thorough understanding. You got to have amazing perception to see through these people. Don't let anybody lead you astray. That's one of the reasons why I started this channel, because I was sick and tired of people being led astray. I was sick and tired of the lies of mankind leading the world and leading people astray. And I saw it, and I've seen it my whole life, but I'm just fed up. Because nobody can overstep God's truth. They can say whatever they want. They can pass whatever laws they want. They can do whatever they want. Just like what they tried to do to the disciples and the apostles and to Jesus, and they killed all of them. Or they suffered a lot. They were persecuted, because anybody that tries to live a life of Christ will be persecuted. They will demonize you. They will make a mockery of you. But you've got to be prepared. You've got to be ready to fight back. Not using the basic principles of this world, but utilizing the weapons of God. which can destroy all these people. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 20. Timothy, Paul's writing to Timothy. Guard what has been entrusted to your care. Turn away from godless chatter and the opposing ideas of what is falsely called knowledge. Timothy, guard what has been entrusted to your care. You have to guard what's been entrusted to your care. You've got to guard what you know. You've got to guard when you take captive every thought and make it obedient to Christ. Because it's a battle, it's a war. You've got to turn away. You've got to turn your back against these demons. You've got to turn your back and go the opposite way when these people are trying to lie to you and suck you into their black hole so that you'll never come back. You've got to turn away from godless chatter, from the endless nonsense politics that goes nowhere. Yes, we got to fight for our freedom. Yes, we got to do the right things. Yes, when injustice happens, we've got to stand up for justice. And I hate any kind of injustice. But when it's ungodliness, when it's the nonsense that comes from man, where they just want to put forward the ideas of man, you've got to be willing to say no if it's going against God. You've got to be able to turn away from godless chatter and the opposing ideas of what is falsely called knowledge. And in verse 21, which some have professed, and in doing so have wandered from the faith. Grace be with you. So when you do these things, when you don't turn away from godless chatter, when you don't turn away from opposing ideas of fake knowledge, fake truths of this world, or lies of this world, if you profess these things, if you accept these things, or if you let these things steer you away, you will wander from the faith and you will be led astray. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verses 14 and 19. Keep reminding them of these things. Warn them before God against quarreling about words. It is of no value and only ruins those who listen. See it? You hear that? Be careful what you listen to. Be careful what you accept. Be careful what you let in your head. Because it will ruin you. Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a workman who does not need to be ashamed and who correctly handles the word of truth. You got to do your best to present yourself as if you're an Olympic athlete. But I'm talking about spiritually. Just like you're somebody that wants to get in tremendous physical shape. You're trying to accomplish a goal. You don't just sit around and eat chips and watch TV and sit on the couch. No, you're out there running. You're out there lifting weights. You're out there with a regimen. You're out there having a certain diet. It's the same thing when you face this world, so you're not led astray. You've got to do your best to present yourself to God, because that is your duty. Present yourself to God as one approved, a workman, because we're workmen and women, who does not need to be ashamed and who correctly handles the word of truth. Avoid godless chatter, because those who indulge in it will become more and more ungodly. Their teaching will spread like gangrene. Among them are Hymenaeus and Philetus, people of that time, that became ungodly through godless chatter, and they were led astray. Verse 18. Who have wandered away from the truth. They say that the resurrection has already taken place, and they destroy the faith of some. Nevertheless, God's solid foundation stands firm, sealed with this inscription: the Lord knows those who are his, and everyone who confesses the name of the Lord must turn away from wickedness. You know, it's not easy making it into heaven. It's not easy living a righteous life in this life. It's not easy saying no to wickedness. It's not easy turning away from godless chatter, or quarreling about words, or getting involved with foolish people, or being led astray. It's easy to be led astray. It's easy to let yourself go and gain weight. It's easy to be a bum and be poor and be lazy. It's hard to go out there and come up with amazing ideas and make millions of dollars and be successful in this life and be able to take care of your family, your friends, help people of lower status. It's very, very hard to do that. But it's easy to give in. It's easy to be led astray. That's why Paul says to Timothy, do your best to present yourself to God as one approved. Do not quarrel with people. It's going to ruin you. Anybody that listens to it, it will ruin them. If you listen to garbage music, you'll be a garbage person. If you hang out with garbage people, you're going to be a garbage person. If you hang out with bums, you're going to be a bum. If you hang out with people that smoke weed, you're going to be a weed smoker. You hang out with heroin addicts, you're going to be a heroin addict. If you hang out with subpar people, you're going to be a subpar person. If you hang out with unspiritual people, you're going to be an unspiritual person. Think about that. Personal responsibility. You got to be better than everybody. Every day you've got to fight and claw for it. Every day is a battle. Titus chapter 3 verses 9 to 11 says, "But avoid foolish controversies and genealogies and arguments and quarrels about the law, because these are unprofitable and useless. Warn the divisive person once, then warn him a second time. After that, have nothing to do with him. You may be sure that such a man is warped and sinful. He is self-condemned." So he's talking about people that are quarreling about the Old Testament, the Torah, fighting about controversies and who's descended from who, and arguments and quarrels about the law. What matters is doing God's will. What matters is snatching people from the fire. Doesn't matter about the nonsense that comes along with who's this or who's that, because it's all unprofitable and useless. So when you're dealing with somebody that's trying to lead you astray, you've got to have the conviction and the cojones to say, "I'm warning you, stop." If they keep going, warn them a second time. After that, the third time, if they keep going, have nothing to do with them. Ghost them. Bye-bye. You may be sure, verse 11, that such a man is warped and sinful. He is self-condemned. You can't be led astray. We live in perilous times. We live in times where time is short. I don't know what the future is going to bring, but I'm telling you right now, things don't look good. We're definitely in the last days. We've been in the last days since Jesus came. Never forget, 1,000 years is like a day, and a day is like 1,000 years to God. He's not slow in his promise. He's not slow in anything in the way we understand slowness. He's quick and fast. He's still there. He's still moving. He knows what's going on. He's in control of everything. Think about where you're going. Think about what you're doing. Think about what you're doing every day. Take captive every thought. Make it obedient to Christ. Snatch those from the fire. Snatch those snatch yourself from the fire so you're not disqualified for the prize. You need to approach every single day as if you're a professional athlete, but with God, because you got to present yourself as one approved, a workman approved, ready to do good things. I hope you found the information helpful. If you did, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this with anybody that you feel like that this would help. If you want to subscribe to my community, everything is in the description box below, bereanman.locals.com. There's also another link in there if you want more personable service. All right? If you have any questions, write to me, drop some comments below. I'll talk to you soon. I'm out.